Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next super stock, a live stream October 5th. We are back with ESE Entertainment, ENTEF over the counter. And of course, for anybody that's brand new to our program, our goal is to bring you those stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential. So companies going after massive multi-billion-dollar market opportunities that are at a key inflection point in their growth. And there's multiple catalysts in place that could ignite massive increases in shareholder value. So we've had, I think we're up to our 9th 10-bagger plus in recent months. ESE is definitely one of 10. We went to 10x, and now there's another 10x coming up. So the stock was, 30 cents when you debuted. It hit over $4. We're back in the $1 range, so people have another bite at the apple. And the incredible thing is now, so this is actually great timing for Conrad. So right now, we're in October. The stock is at $1.20 Canadian, and you're much further ahead than where you were last February when the stock was $4, right? I mean, it's amazing. So we're gonna talk about some of the revenue growth here.
Yeah, I think that's a big understatement. I mean, I made it crystal clear the first day that I came on the show that ESE is going to be an acquirer. We're going to go out and acquire creative groups in the space. We're going to add tremendous value. And we've done exactly that, step by step. So we've now closed. It's our fourth. Now it's going to be our fourth.
This is going to be frenzy. This is the deal you announced last week. You know, it's amazing that the market didn't really react to it. We're going to get into all the details of this is the esports media company in Europe. So we're going to get into all that stuff. So the esports space again, it's really heating up. I mean, there's massive trends happening. So let's kind of talk about where you are right now. Last year, you were doing less than 2 million run rate last December when you first came on, right? Before this new deal, which you're going to be closing soon, you're doing what, 25 million revenue run rate in esports.
Yep.
Okay, now let's talk about this new company, which you're going to be buying. What do they do? What kind of revenues are they doing? How do they fit in?
You know, and to Jack's point, I'm a little surprised I didn't get a better reaction from the market. This is a massive opportunity. I made it clear from the beginning that we were going to be pursuing media rights and relationships with publishers and production in the segment. There's groups out there like Venn and VSPN that have both raised over 100 million each, and their production capabilities do not compare to this. We are aligned with one of the largest media conglomerates in all of Europe. We have facilities that are unprecedented that I'm going to show viewers today. We have relationships with tier 1 publishers, global publishers, groups like Riot Games, EA Sports, CD Projekt, Ubisoft. This opportunity is just, I mean, it was something that we just could not pass up. It puts us in a global tier 1 level for production for esports and gaming in a market that's only growing. This group has been growing at a 50% year-over-year growth rate. And, we're going to inject some capital into that. And we're going to really scale this business on a global level.
So this company, Frenzy, what kind of revenues are they doing approximately?
So we anticipate for the next, 12-month run rate around 5 million plus.
We're very euro? What kind of currency?
Dollars, okay. But we are very, very confident that when we implement them into our ecosystem, that's going to scale very fast. They also have VR and AR capabilities that we're going to start implementing. They haven't even scratched the surface. That's just the reality. And when we join forces and we start scaling, I mean, I say it every time, and we go after these groups all the time. This is another 100+ million opportunity in itself. And that's why we're so excited about it.
So right now, when this deal closes, your run rate is going to be approximately 30 million plus.
Correct.
$30 million run rate. Okay, so just for some context,
So do you see a common theme happening here?
I'm
Every time I come back to on the show, we're getting closer and closer to the 100 million mark.
Right. So right. So I think one of the things you said when you came on, I think back in January, right? Like after like sometime in January, you said, look, we're gonna do. You said, look, we're gonna close out the year with a, the goal is to do $100 million run rate, and that's just, again, that's a start. That's just an intermediate milestone. That's just to give people something to look forward to. That's not kind of the end game. The end game is not 100 million. I think. Am I right?
Oh, definitely not. Once you get to 100, then you go for $1 billion.
So 100 million, and again, you went from 2 million run rate to now 30 million run rate, approximately, which obviously when this deal closes, it'll be in that range, and then there's more on tap. Listen, bottom line is, look, you've delivered everything you've said. I think it's important to realize that 30 million, typically in the esports space, companies could be valued at 10x revenues is kind of where that's what the market is paying for high growth tech stocks these days, right? So 300 million. Your market cap right now is something like, I don't know, 75, 80 million approximately right now, today.
Yeah, that's roughly where we've been closing at the last few days.
So there is basically 4x upside from here just to get you to be, kind of, where the market should be. So, I mean, that would get you back to like $4 for starters. And when you get to 100 million run rate, that would be roughly 10x from where you are, 12x from where you are now. That'll be a $12 stock price, assuming nothing else changes. Ballpark. I'm not like, we're not doing, I don't have the calculator out, but $12. I think it's $12 roughly.
I mean, you said it yourself. I mean, this is a 10x opportunity from here, right? And that's the goal. We're very excited about the opportunity. We continue to deliver. I keep coming back on the show with real news, real revenues with profitable companies. What else could you want in a group that's growing at that pace with real product, real groups, and most importantly, aligning and partnering with multi-billion-dollar companies, not just one, but several. So this is really important to understand, is we're insulating ourselves around, like I mentioned, 5 to 7 big publishers that are valued at 10 plus billion. That's a great group to be around. And we're going to get to $1 billion market cap a lot faster when we're surrounded by groups like that.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a demo, right? We're going to basically show what these guys are, what this new business is about that you're acquiring. I just want to make one comment here is that, look, when we bring companies onto the next super stock program, or even, look, we sign companies up for 6 months, right? And when we bring companies back, I only want to bring companies back if I really think they're going to have a 10x upside from where they are. Like, if a company already does a 10x and I don't think there's more room to go, I'm not interested in really just doing like whatever maintenance work. I'm not that's boring for me. So the only reason why ESE is on the platform now is I really believe there is a path to get to 10x from today. So from $1 where it is right now, there's a $10 plus $12 upside. That we're not here to we're not here this is not for entertainment purposes. This is to make money. Okay, so Conrad, with that said, are you ready to show the demo?
Yeah, let's see.
This is the new company that you're buying. Ready? Okay, so we're gonna bring this up on the screen. Okay, we have it. Okay, here we go. Okay, you want to press play?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think, is it rolling or?
It's rolling. Yeah, it's rolling.
There you go. So
I don't have sound though. I don't have sound. I think that's on your end. I think
it's just a little. There you go.
Okay, so what do we see? What is this? What is this business that these guys are doing?
That if that doesn't get you fired up, nothing else will. So that is global tier one production. If you saw the studios, this is at the level of ESPN, Fox, Netflix scale production. These are our capabilities now. So big publishers are coming to us now to put on tournaments, to roll out leagues, to create content. We're now content creators at the highest level globally. And I mean, like I said, the video speaks volumes. This is the real deal, and it's time to scale globally with this product.
And what are they doing? They're producing. Are these shows? So this company Frenzy, right? So
Yeah.
this is based in Europe, and they're producing show. Is this for broadcast, or where is the distribution channel, and where are they going to expand?
So this is the exciting part, guys, is it's a mix of all of that. So we provide broadcasting, we provide the production. So we actually create reality TV shows pertaining to esports and gaming. We create distribution for the big publishers. So we distribute, League of Legends, World Championships, Ultra Liga, which is one of the biggest European-based League of Legends tournaments. For context, those channels have about 25 plus million views annually and growing. We also are expanding into new countries and regions. So as Jack mentioned, we're in Europe currently, in several countries, and now we're expanding into more. I can't get into too many details, but we have a lot of big news coming as it pertains to this relationship. We're going to be onboarding new publishers. We're going to be expanding the services they're providing. And we're just, quite frankly, going to be scaling globally. And that's how we're going to generate more revenues. And we're really exciting. It's just exciting times in general because there's so much more we could do. Content creation is endless. And now we have that production capability.
So in other words, you're putting together like all the various different components in the esports space. It's a little bit like, I'm trying to think what would be a good example. Like, okay, so for like Canadian investors, they made remember Well Health or CloudMD during the initial growth phase, right? Which was like, they were assembling these various components in the health tech space, right? They were doing, I don't want to say a roll up, but really like they're trying to build a kind of like a holistic companies in the health tech space. And we saw a massive ramp in the stock price. Obviously, the revenues took off. So this is kind of, I think where you are now is kind of where those guys were maybe 12 months ago, or in that early part of the growth phase, kind of before. I think what happens is the space you're in right now, it's kind of where most investors, they don't quite understand what you're doing. They're not quite, they kind of vaguely understand, but they're not really going to get it until probably, 3, 4, 5 months out after you do a couple more of these acquisitions. And then the picture comes into focus. Then it becomes really clear. So then they're going to see, okay, now I see what this guy's doing. Of course, by then, a lot of other people will know, and the stock is not going to be where it is today. I mean, that's kind of usually the way it works,
So that's exactly right. And I had a very high level meeting today with one of the, in my opinion, industry leaders. And we did sit down and we did a whiteboard session. And he turned around and he said, "You're doing a 360 solution in esports." He understood it right away. And the people that know this space are going, "Wow, you're actually doing it." We are creating an ecosystem, a 360 solution for the entire industry, esports and gaming. And it's a lot bigger than people think. When you look at this deal, you got to think big picture. You got to really realize what I'm saying about the vision with all the pillars lined up. Now we have production, media rate capabilities. We're aligning with the big publishers. You have to understand the opportunity here, and not to be cliche, is a once in a lifetime. This is how the big
It's a
groups start.
generational. Yeah, I mean, this is really this. It's funny. This is the first thing we talked about when you came on. We talked about like this esports really is a generational, change wave. It's a generational opportunity. It's kind of where this is the first thing we talked about. Is a kind of like where the NFL, the NBA was, 50 years ago. When all of a sudden the broadcast rights, that became a huge business. When esports today gets more viewers than traditional sports. So, like basically, the new generation, right? People in their 20s, 30s, or younger now. There's a whole new generation, right? What do they call the Gen Z, whatever it is, the people who are doing Roblox, whatever, right? So those people, they don't want to watch. They don't want to watch NFL. They're not into that old people stuff. They're basically into, esports tournaments. And you can see there's kids who are making, $10 million, $20 million a year playing esports. I mean, that's basically like a high level athlete. That's a top level. I mean, how much does LeBron James? Is he the top level guy? Is he the most paid guy?
He's definitely up there. He's definitely up there.
But these are kids who are basically sitting in their pajamas playing esports, right? So this is good. We're just getting started here.
And it's funny you mentioned him because his son just signed a deal with an esports team. I'm not sure which one, but I read about it. LeBron's son, yeah. He's a massive gamer.
This makes the point. This is the son. This is the next generation. The next generation is not doing NBA. The next generation is doing esports. Sorry about the noise. We got some construction. This is, I don't know if
you can he's excited too.
He's excited too. So yeah, so we got great. Really, I mean, this is major thing. Now, to add to that point, one of your directors. This is the guy that comes out of that broadcast sports. So he joined you for a reason. For anybody that's new, they may not know. Give us kind of the snapshot of what his background is, what he's doing for you.
Yeah, so Rick Brace came on as one of our directors a few months back, but he was the former president of Rogers. I believe they're a 30 billion plus market cap company on the NASDAQ and TSX. Previous to that, he was also the president of TSN, the equivalent of ESPN in the US. Previous to that, he was with CTV, the equivalent to, I guess, ABC of the US. So do you see the theme here? Now we've partnered with Frenzy, who's affiliated with Polsat Group, the biggest media conglomerate in all of Eastern Europe, one of the biggest in all of Europe. We are going to start working together. We are going to start scaling this at a very high rate. And quite frankly, there's no ceiling to this business. It's growing so fast. And now we have the pieces. This was kind of one of the final pieces to really scale on the media rights side. Now we could really attack some of these bigger publishers and scale with them on a global level.
Okay, so no, this is really interesting. So the concept here is you're building this 360 solution for esports. So that includes what? Infrastructure, content,
media rights, right? Production. We have their own esports team and leagues. So it goes all the way across the board. And we've added the digital motorsport side to the business as well. So it's literally a 360 loop of the entire industry.
Okay, so the question then is, okay, so you got this. Is it people? I think so. Some investors are familiar with was it EGLX? That was like a hot stock last year in the esports space. Similar kind of, they followed a similar kind of growth, similar model, like, growing through acquisitions, mostly content. I think they were mostly a roll-up of content, like YouTube channels, stuff like that. In that stock, that, and that became, like, I think they hit like $1 billion market cap at some point, right?
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they went up to $11 and over $1 billion market cap. and they were trailblazers on the TSX to create that market cap. But it also shows people that it is very realistic to get to that level. And I know that we can get to that level. So it's a great comparable to show us that we could get there.
And again, well, this is really, we're still kind of in the early days of this massive opportunity. Again, like we talked about before, like esports, like all the guys who own like NFL teams, sports team owners, they're all going into the esports business. Either they're buying teams, or they're doing. They see where the puck is heading. It's really this esports thing is going to be big, and it's interesting. We really don't have too many pure play like esports stocks. It's not that the theme. I mean, the theme kind of is heating up, but it's not like, it's not like where, let's say, cannabis was 5 years ago. It's not a dominant theme yet. It's not like sports betting is like a dominant theme in the market. It's become that way in the last over the last like 2 years or so. Esports is not there yet. I think this is going to be the next thing. The esports thing is going to be the next thing over probably the next 12 months. I think we're going to see it emerging.
And we're the company to follow. We're the 360 solution. You don't need to go anywhere else. ESE is the company that you need to follow. We're delivering, we're executing, and just keep following the news. I mean, we have tremendous stuff in the pipeline. The meetings we're having now, now that we have these resources and these pieces to the puzzle, it just opens up 10 more doors every other day. And it's unbelievable. We're really seeing the business scale. We executed a great quarter last quarter.
It was basically last quarter.
Yeah.
You were up 500 over. It was almost 500% from the previous quarter.
Yes.
So the numbers are starting. I mean, look, the numbers are it's all trailing stuff. It's all stuff that back in history. So people are really, they're not. I think the market is only going to catch up to it once they see these numbers of like 30 million, 25 million. Once they see those things start to hit like your quarterlies, that's when I think people are going to wake up and get it. Let me see. Okay, let's get to some audience questions here. Let's jump into some audience questions. Okay, so we got okay. Okay, so I think this guy is coming in a little bit late. So you talk. So Frenzy, this is the new acquisition. What is their run rate?
Yeah, next 12 months, 5 million Canadian, roughly.
Canadian dollars.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy's asking, I have difficulty understanding why Frenzy doesn't post a lot on Twitch, especially since they have 90,000 followers, which is impressive. Twitch is what? That's kind of the esports platform, right? So why are these guys doing more on Twitch?
Because you're probably better off following the channel on YouTube or Twitch under the name Polsat Games, because Frenzy is more of the corporate entity that runs those channels.
So it was under Polsat. That was the main company.
Polsat Games is the actual channel that you'll see the higher volume streaming, and the shows also get aired on national TV on the TV channel Polsat Games in Poland. So there's a lot of viewership on the actual linear TV channel as well.
Okay. So this is mostly in Eastern Europe, right? But what are you doing to expand? What's the plan for global expansion for Europe, beyond Europe, Asia, Latin America, US, North America, Mars?
We're already in Asia. We already rolled out a talent show. China, Korea, Vietnam, Brazil, Japan. We already rolled that out. We've already expanded to those regions. We're just going to be accelerating. So, we anticipate entering a bare minimum of 10 plus countries in the next 6 months, preferably more, but, one step at a time. New languages, new countries, new regions. We're going full steam ahead with this thing.
Okay, so things are coming into focus. Okay, I guess people. Yeah, I think you haven't really talked about the numbers before for this new acquisition. I think probably that's why the market didn't really react. I think once people understand that, okay, this is roughly brings in, another 5 million, adding 5 million to the run rate. We're at 30 million. Are we at 30 or 25? What are we at? 25, 30? Right now, with this deal, you're going to be at where?
After Frenzy, we're now getting closer to that 30 plus mark. And one thing that we need to make crystal clear, and I think it's important to explain to shareholders, is we do not need to raise any more money to do this deal. Step number one. Number two, it's a fantastic deal. It's going to be around 1 to 1.5 times revenue multiple. And it's a 50-50 split of shares and cash. So we actually, once again, do not need to raise cash. We have the money to do the deal, and we're on to the next one. So this is a very good deal for shareholders. Very limited dilution, and it puts us in a position to continue to grow with additional revenue. And this is an accretive group. So that's exciting as well.
Okay, so I guess the thing people want to know is, okay, what's next? I mean, they want to know, like, what's okay, and forget about what you did last week. What's in the pipeline? You're basically, are we still on track to hit 100 million run rate end of 21? We're 2 months away.
Hey,
November, 3 months away.
You guys got to give me some love, man. I keep delivering, so we need to get some more buying on market. But no, all jokes aside, guys, we're on pace. We have specific goals. The goal is 100 plus million. And at the end of the day, we're delivering. I keep coming on the show. I'm doing my job. My team's doing their job. And we're going to continue to deliver high quality news. And we're going to continue to deliver these accretive acquisitions that are just going to continue to bolt on more and more revenue until we get to that number.
Okay, good question. So you talk about a big picture for ESE, 100 million as intermediate milestone, 100 million run rate. Chris is asking, are you considering selling ESE to a larger player at some point, or do you want ESE to be the biggest player in the sector moving into the long term? I mean, what do you? I guess what's your vision for ESE? Let's say 2 years out. I know 2 years is, but yeah, 2 years out. I don't want to say 5 years, 2 years.
I really believe that for a pure play esports company, there's only a few guys in the running to be the biggest in the world, and we're definitely in the mix. And that's the goal. I always want to be the best. We want to win. We want to be the biggest. And that's the goal. And we're going to continue to push over the next 2-3 years. I can't predict the future, but look what we've done in the past year. Remember, we went from 0 to 25 million run rate. And I said this on the last show, I'll say it again. It's a lot easier to get from 25 to 100. And then when you're at 100 million revenue, it's a lot easier to get from 100 to 500. So that's the type of mindset I have. That's the type of mindset our team has. We got it to this point. We're going to continue to scale, and we're going to continue to use that same mindset, stay lean, acquire great companies with great operators, and we're going to scale as a group. And if that takes us to the biggest in the world, that's where it takes us.
Okay. So this is the, big picture. 100 million revenues is the intermediate goal. We could get there. Where? Possibly end of the year, possibly maybe by February, March. Might take a little long. It might take a little longer. It's possible, but it doesn't. I mean, I don't think it really matters if it takes 2 months, 3 months longer. So you're already at 30. So you're a third of the way there.
I would just follow the news, and I think people are going to be surprised over the next 12 months what we have in store.
Okay. What else is in the pipeline right now? What other kind of companies are you looking at? You have media stuff. What else is in the hopper?
We're looking at a couple more groups, a little bit more focused on technology at the moment, scalable technology with larger margins, more profitable companies, and significantly more revenue. So that's pretty much the focus at the moment is more tech oriented, but very synergistic. So we've isolated a few groups that we would just work perfectly together. They would bring a little bit more of a technology base, and then we would provide more of the infrastructure production side. But together, we could really scale fast.
Okay, you know what we need to do at some point is we're gonna have to bring on like members of the, because you have multiple components now. You got the digital motorsports, you got the kick, you got this. We have to bring on various members of those teams on and maybe do so people see exactly what it is you're doing. Like last, was it 2 weeks ago? You had what's his name, the digital
Niall.
motorsports Niall on. I think people when they see demos, they see actual stuff, then they're really going to understand what you're doing. This is kind of what I want to do with all our kind of companies, is so people really need to understand what the business is. This is not just. I mean, there's a lot more than just you showing up. There's a lot of moving parts behind the background, and this is, I think, once they see that, they see all the stuff, then it becomes a a reality for them.
There's now, with the addition of Frenzy, we're getting close to over 200 employees globally. So we're building a big group, a very capable group, a very talented operators. So, it's pretty exciting.
Okay, we got a question here. I'm not sure if I understand. Okay, so what is the expected run rate during the next quarter? I'm not sure if I understand the question, but I guess
he's probably
take a guess. Take a guess. I don't know.
He's probably referring to the next quarter.
Okay.
As you know, I can't speak on that. What I could say, we anticipate having a very strong quarter.
I think he's asking. Oh, maybe I think he's asking what do you expect the run rate to be the next quarter? Not the actuals, but the run. What do you expect? Because right now you're at 30 million roughly, right? So let's say. I guess he's saying. I guess he wants to know: are you going to get to where are you going to be January? Pretty much.
Yeah, I think we'll just have to wait for the news to come out on that one. But like I said, we're very confident, and I wouldn't wait or bet against us. I mean, this is something you want to be a part of, more longer term. We're building something real here. We're building a big company. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but as you can see, I work fast, and I'm doing my best to go as fast as I can.
Okay, so bottom line, the takeaway for today is 360 solution for esports. This is now the picture is coming into focus. 360 solution, $100 million run rate is the intermediate target. That's not the end. That's not the end point. That is the intermediate point, which we should be at. Hopefully January, maybe a little bit later, but it's coming into into focus right now. So you're at 30 million with this new acquisition. So that is, tremendous results. I don't know why the stock is not trading $2 right now. It's amazing. Sometimes these things either they're undervalued or they get out. These things are never correctly priced. So right now it's I think a good time for people to be taking a look at ESE, ENTEF over the counter. Conrad, I think that kind of wraps up. Any other kind of any other milestones coming up in the next 30 days you want to talk about? Anything else coming up?
We got some really exciting stuff coming in the next 30 to 60 days. Just continue to follow the story. I mean, we're working our tails off. As you can see, we have consistent news, high quality news all the time. But you'll see some really exciting news in collaboration with Frenzy as well, because we're going to be doing some big things with publishers and rolling out tournaments. So it's going to be just an exciting time to follow us because the news flow is going to really ramp up. Digital Motorsports is doing some really cool stuff. It's just going to be a constant news flow. So definitely keep an eye on it, and you'll be a happy investor because there's always something going on.
Conrad, listen, on that note, I want to thank you, and we look forward to hearing more exciting news from ESE very, very soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining our live stream today.
Thanks, guys.